turn with me to the book of Luke. Chapter 9. Starting at verse 23. Say amen when you get there. Amen. Bless you. Reading from the New King James Version, and it reads, Then he said to them all, If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever desires to save his life will lose it. But whosoever loses his life for my sake will save it. For what profits a man? What profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and himself destroyed or lost? Yeah. So today, my title is also opposing a question. Are you still daily dying? Are you still daily dying? Because time and time again, as we go through life, as we deal with different situations, as we assess different things in our lives, we forget to daily die. As we continue to be wrapped in our flesh and in a world covered with darkness and iniquity and sin, we still got to get to a place where we are dying daily. We cannot forget to die daily. We cannot forget to daily deny ourselves. So point number one that I want to touch on is covering verse 23, and it says, to follow Christ, there's going to have to be some daily dying. I said, to follow Christ, there's going to have to be some daily dying. Because the thing about it is, we're wrapped in flesh. We were born into sin. So how can you sit here and say that you are going to follow Christ if Christ lived a sinless life? How can you sit here and say that I am doing the works of the Father if I am not denying myself of my flesh, my temptations, the things that God hates? Right. It's impossible. True to us, everybody is not going to be sinless like Christ, but we can try our best to sin less. Amen. And it starts with our daily devotion, our daily grind to die and deny ourselves. Amen. Because that is the key. That is where we started. Are you in the morning telling yourself, God, I understand what is getting ready to come my way, but I know with you, I can conquer this. I know with you, I can deny these things that my body is going to want. I am going to die these urges that my body is going to try to put me through. I'm going to deny the rebuttals that I'm going to give to people that try to come against me. I am going to deny the people that may talk about me. I am going to deny my true flesh nature to talk against somebody, to talk down to somebody, to go outside of my character being that you have given to me. Pastor, I understand it gets hard sometimes when people are trying you. They want to pull out that character in you that is not what God has willed for you to do. But I'm here to tell you, keep praying, my brother. They are going to come. They are going to try you. But you have to get to a place that you say, I deny myself daily, and I'm going to deny what the enemy is trying to come against me with. We got to get to a place, but they're not going to stop, y'all. Just because you get more and more saved, just because you get more and more deeper into your walk with Christ, even though you are starting to follow him more and more, I'm telling you, the road's not going to get easy. I'm telling you, people are not going to stop trying you. I'm telling you, it's not going to get easy to deny your flesh. It's not going to get easy. But that's why you got to bear your cross daily. That's why you got to take those temptations, you got to take those desires, you got to take those fleshful urges, and you got to put it on the cross. You got to carry that cross daily. I know it gets heavy. I know it gets hard. I know those burdens weigh you down time and time again, but the thing about it is, because of who you serve, because of who you follow, isn't it, or is it not worth it?
Yes, it's worth it.
This leads me into my next point, is talking about the next verse. That be willing to give up your fleshful life for a spiritual life. Let's read verse 24. What verse 24 says is, for whosoever desires to save his life will lose it. But whosoever loses his life for my sake will save it. Going into the situation of, I understand that y'all have fleshful desires. I understand that there are fleshful temptations that come into your mind and say that you need this. This is going to send you to the next level. This is going to put you at the next level. But I'm here to tell you, is that in God's will for your life? Is that car in God's will for your life? Is that amount of money in God's will for your life? And so many times people are willing to do stuff outside of their character and outside of what God has willed for them to do to gain something that God never intended for you to have. Oh, okay, y'all quiet. So I'm supposed to be driving down. Some of y'all you know, the thing about it is, I'm not trying to beat y'all up. I'm trying to give y'all a sense of encouragement, trying to give y'all a reminder that the thing about it is, I understand we live in a life, and we live a life that we're flesh. But you have to understand that we got to go to the next level if we're going to plant spiritual seeds. As I talked about last time I stood before you. In order for us to plant spiritual seeds so that God can give it the increase, in order for us to live a life that is spiritual so that God can give us the increase, we have to remember that our flesh cannot get in the way so that we can get our increase.
Amen.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I need an increase in my life right now.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
I want an increase in my life right now. The only way that God is going to give the increase is He's not going to give increase to a disobedient child.
Amen.
So that way you have to understand that if I'm going to live my life fleshfully, if I'm going to desire to live this life and save this life that my flesh is daily trying to give to me, so many times we don't want to let go of our old habits. We don't want to let go of our old sins. And that is the time when you understand and you realize that you are trying to save your flesh for life. And the thing about it is, it says right here in this verse, if you are trying to save your flesh for life, that if you are trying to save your flesh for life, you will lose it.
Yes.
Because the thing about it is, your flesh does not last. Your flesh is not eternal. Things that we do on this earth are not eternal. But the things that we do for God will last forever. And if you are willing to kill that flesh for life, if you are willing to turn down some of those desires, I'm here to tell you that you can save your eternal life on the other side. I don't know about y'all, but I have an end destination. I have another life to live. This is not my life. I don't live a YOLO lifestyle. This is not the only life that I have to live. I have another one that is eternal, that is in heaven with my Father. So what I do down here is only going to happen down here. But the things that I do for God will go on to the other side. And that's why I'm sitting here telling you, your life down here, your fleshful desires, your fleshful temptations down here are only for down here. So they are going to pass away. They are going into the grave. They are going to be at a place where you cannot touch them anymore once your spiritual body leaves your fleshful body. So why are you holding on to these fleshful desires? I know, y'all ain't gonna say amen. Y'all ain't gonna say amen, and I'm gonna keep preaching anyway. Like I said, the thing about it is, I understand that it gets times where you want to save that fleshful body, that you want to indulge in that temptation, indulge in that sin. But I understand that if I know I have an end result, I know who I'm serving, I know who I am called to follow, why do I trouble myself with the things of this world? Just marinate on there. Why am I troubling myself, putting myself in a situation where I'm denying myself blessings, denying myself an increase, denying myself a spiritual lifestyle, when all these things are going to pass away? This life is going to pass away. Why am I holding on to it? That's where prayer and this word gets in.
Right.
Stop trying to save a life that's not worth saving.
Right.
Stop trying to save a life that's not worth saving. I'm here to tell you it's not worth it. Because the thing about it is, when this life is over, when you see the grave and then you are raised up and you stand before the Father, I'm telling you right now, you don't want to be the one where He sends you and says, depart from me, I never knew you. You want to be the one when He says, well done, my faithful servant. That's the person I want to be. So I got to remember time and time again, we have to remind ourselves that what we do down here It's reflecting of what's going to happen up there.
Amen.
And so if you want to be that person that's up there in glory, singing his praises, living that life that's just so beautiful, where there's no heartache, no pain, no tears, nothing that can bring you down, I'm going to tell you it starts here.
Amen.
Your life starts here. This is the place where you are putting into play what's going to happen on the other side. I understand that your fleshful body is going to die. So that's why you have to do it in your fleshful body. So in order to inherit your spiritual body, you have to know that your fleshful body is going to try to counteract your spiritual body. So you have to put your flesh to death.
Amen. Amen.
Don't try to save this life, like again, that is not worth saving.
Amen.
Because once it passes away, it cannot help you.
Amen.
It's only a hindrance to you. Because once it's dead, it's dead.
Yeah.
And there is no going back.
Amen.
Going on to verse number 3. As I come to a close, focusing on verse 26, my third point is, what profit comes from gaining your worldly desires will lose a person that God meant for you to be in the process. Going to the verse says, for whoever is verse 25, excuse me. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world, and himself destroy the loss? Now I thought about that. I said, how can you lose yourself if you gain the world? If you gain the riches, you gain the cars, you gain this wealth, you gain influence, you gain attraction. That sounds pretty good to me. How can you lose yourself within all this goodness? That's the flesh telling you that does sound good to you, but what are you doing in the process to gain everything that you did? Are you compromising what God has asked you to do? Are you compromising what God has called you to do? Are you compromising the thing that God has assigned you to do? Because so many times we'll sit there and we'll get engulfed in our work. We'll get engulfed in doing all these different things because we need money, or we want money, or we want this, or we have to have this, and we forget that there is work to be done in the kingdom.
Amen. Amen.
There is work that you were assigned to do before you came out your mother's womb, before you knew what a bill is,
Amen.
before you knew what a car is, before you even knew how to drive a car, before you even realized that you needed a house to live in. There is still an assignment that you are assigned to do before all these things happen. And I'm telling you, never get to a place where you forget your assignment. Never lose yourself in trying to gain all these worldly things and lose your assignment. Never get to a place where you are engulfed in all these gold, riches, and materialistic things, and you forget your assignment. Because I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how many things that you have, if you forgot your assignment, when it gets to the time, when it gets to judgment day, when you pass away, even if they bury this stuff in the ground with you, which it ain't going to be enough space in the ground to put it all in there, unless we're going to make you a tomb, and they don't do that no more. So unless we're going to put everything down there with you, I promise you it's not going to go on to the next level. It's not going to go on to the next level. And so the thing about it is, I don't care about how many cars you drive, how much money you got, how much influence you got. If you did not use those things as tools, as your assignment, or if you have negated your assignment to get those things, I promise you God is not going to tell you well done, nor will he be well pleased in what you have done to obtain those things. I don't know about y'all, but I'm preaching to myself. I don't know if I'm preaching to you, but I'm preaching to myself this morning. And the thing about it is, I get to a place where I got to understand that money is needed. I understand that transportation is needed. But let us not engulf ourselves to do everything that we need to do to get these things working 60, 80 hours and sitting here and all they ask you is for 2 hours a week at service, but you can't go because you tired from the work week.
Amen.
You tired from the work week because you are gaining wealth to put you at a place to gain things of this world. And then you're looking at yourself down the line, you're tired, you miss church, and you get before the Father, and the Father's looking at you like,
Oh, Spirit.
So when Pastor asked you to go out to evangelize and go talk over there at Halberstadt, you told him, Pastor, I just got off of working a 12-hour shift. I'm not gonna make it. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Church service started at 9:30, and you said, ooh, Pastor, that's too early. I can't get out of bed. You know, I'm tired. I just got off from my 14-hour shift on Saturday night. I ain't gonna be able to make it. It was prayer meeting on that Wednesday, and you couldn't get out of bed. And so Pastor called you, say, oh, you know, are you all right? Pastor, I was feeling a little under the weather. I didn't really feel like coming. But y'all pray for me. You know, God darn well you lying through your teeth. Because the thing about it is you was tired from doing work to try to gain the world. But you compromised yourself and you compromised the will of the Father for your life because you tried to gain the world. And that's why this verse just resonated so much with me, because we do so many things to try to gain the world, to try to get these riches, to try to get this influence, but at the same time not using it to build the kingdom.
Amen. 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 Amen.
You riding around in a Rolls Royce and your members ain't got nothing. They riding the bus to your service. You pulling up in the Bentley, but your members are walking into your service off of Metro. Your members are barely scrapping pennies together to pay their tithes, but you arriving in a Bentley. Your house bigger than your sanctuary. But yet you still doing the will of the Father? How so? How so? You took what God called you to do and you lost yourself while gaining this world. That's what that verse means. To gain the world, to gain wealth, to gain riches, and not use them for God's glory.
Amen.
And neglecting what you needed to do for God on your way to them. I'm here to tell you, if you do things decent and in order, you do things according to God's will, He will give you the desires of your heart.
Amen.
And you don't have to compromise what He has called you to do or what He has asked you to do for these things to come true. So yet again, I pose this question to you. Are you still daily dying? Are you still denying your flesh? Are you still searching after the Lord and telling Him, Father, I understand this flesh is coming in me and I need you to touch me so that I can kill my fleshful body so that I don't lose my spiritual life? And are you chasing after God, or are you chasing after the world?
Amen.
Father, we thank you.
We thank you
for your word and for all of this rich and daily bread that we get from it. Father, I pray right now that everybody that was under my weak voice this morning, that this message penetrated their heart, that it convicted them and had them take a different look at their life and said, Father, am I really doing everything that I need to do to daily die so that I can follow you? Am I bearing my cross daily so that I can I don't allow my flesh to take control of what I need to do for you? Am I allowing myself the opportunity to serve you and not serve the world? Give you my time and not give the world all of my time. Father, you understand that we have needs, you understand that we have wants, and we understand that if we do things according to your will and do things decent and in order, you will give us all the desires of our heart, and we thank you in advance because we know that the increase is on the way. We understand that if we make this declaration today that we're going to serve you and only you, and we are going to deny our flesh, we are not going to allow our flesh to get in our way, and we're going to continue to serve you wholeheartedly, love you wholeheartedly, that we will be blessed beyond measures and the increase shall come. Father, we thank you, we love you, we praise your holy name, because we know that we are not deserving of the things that you give us, your mercy, your grace, those two sisters that you give us day in and day out. We know we are not deserving of those things. We know we're not deserving of the blessings that you give us. And Father, right now we just come before you saying, Father, thank you.
Thank you.
Because we know that without you putting things into place, without you doing the things that you do, without you loving us so that you gave your son, we'll be lost in this lost world. Father, we love you. We thank you. In your son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.